The bliss of the abyss, it's here now.
Well, welcome to the podcast. How are you? Hello. I know it's been some time. I really do apologize. That's really gotten out of control. Here's the thing. For the last few weeks, I have been engaged in 2 jobs that took up all my time. I was in Birmingham for the BBC, and I did record a little thing on my phone, but I thought, oh, you won't like it, so I chucked it in the bin. I was doing a thing for the radio. I'll tell you all about it if you want. If you don't, why are you here? It was fun. It was really good. The BBC studio in Birmingham is brilliant, and they have a full-time Foley artist. If you know what that is, I'll tell you in a second. Can you hear that in the background? Hold on. That's right. It's a bath in my room in Poole, Southwest England. I'll tell you all about that in a minute. Yeah, so they've got a Foley artist in Birmingham, and that is, oh, by the way, you're listening to The Bliss of the Abyss. My name is Robin Neumark Jones, aka Ruskin Denmark. A Foley artist is a really old school thing, which I'm about to demonstrate. It is someone who makes noises for you so you don't have to. So, for example, let's say I was saying, hey, Crystal, nice necklace. How about we make it official? And then we would cheers our glasses. Except that would be done by a person behind a studio booth with a whole host of equipment. And then they would maybe perhaps go to make it official. Yeah. So that's their job. Brilliant. Imagine that being your job. Putting coconut hooves together. Clinking glasses. Pouring things down a drain. Up a drain. You can't do that. So that was a lot of fun. And met a lot of interesting and wonderful people on that job. It was really good. And I'll let you know when it's going to be released. It will be on BBC Radio 4 at some point. That's as specific as I can be at this current moment. But what I can tell you is that I am in Poole, Southwest England, and we have opened our show. This is where I've been. After that Birmingham job for Yentl in BBC Birmingham, I very quickly relocated to the south of England, to a place called Guildford, and I've been there basically every hour that I have, trying to get this show off the ground, because we opened in Poole today, and it went really well, but we've only had a week of rehearsals, so a week and a half, I guess, at this point. A week and a half ago, I didn't know this show at all. I didn't know any of the lines, didn't know any of the characters, didn't know any of the people. Wait, I knew Adam. Didn't know any of the cast, didn't know any of the songs. Oh, didn't I tell you? I gotta sing. Yep, I do. I have to sing in this show. And I'm okay. Thank you, Foley artist, for saving me. It's not the most natural skill for me, but after a while, I am hitting every single note. And this is proven by our first show, when the tech cut out during the last number and we had to do it completely a cappella. And guess what? Yeah, boy, didn't let you down. Hit every note. Jolly Christmas, etc. For those of you who don't know what show it is, it's the Jolly Christmas Postman. For those of you who don't know what the Jolly Christmas Postman is, it's a book written by, I believe, Alan Allberg. Oh, God, now I'm going to have to check it. I'm pretty sure it was, because I read it when I was a kid, or had it read to me, about a Christmas postman who goes around visiting all these fairy tale lovely characters and interacting with them in kind of unexpected and interesting ways that you may not expect, before ultimately meeting Father Christmas and helping him deliver some last minute deliveries. And I'm the postman. So, yeah. Okay. I'm back. Whilst I'm talking about the show. Sorry, chocolate. Yeah, it's called the Jolly Christmas Postman. It's selling like hotcakes. If you have time, come down to Poole. Although, quite frankly, we don't need you. We're going to sell out anyway. It's a great show. But here's the thing about the show. And that's why I'm eating chocolate on mic. What am I doing? Don't I hate it when other people do this? No, actually. Usually people do. But I'm one of those people who doesn't give a flying fuck about that. Fine, eat if you want. It might sound shit. It might annoy me. But it's just a second and we move on. You know, I'm fully aware that this is pretty throwaway. No one's going to be analysing this in 200 years. Although, if they are, hello, welcome from the past to the future. Did you know that we found a dinosaur egg with an embryo perfectly preserved inside and is 72 million years old? And it's called something Saurus. I didn't make that up, by the way. That's true. So this show, where I'm the postman delivering all the letters, including to Father Christmas in the North Pole, is very, very active. So I'm running around the whole time, wearing 4 layers, all tucked in, apart from the overcoat, which is an actual overcoat. I'm talking layered. I'm talking thick, ready for winter. I could wear it outside now and be like, it's quite a mild day. Instead, I'm wearing it in a boiling hot theatre with lights on me as I run around. So, this jolly Christmas postman is jolly sweaty. Now, the kids don't care, obviously. In fact, today, they were yelling because there's this scene where Little Red Riding Hood doubts, how dare she, doubts that I am a postman. And I tell her, no, I really am a postman. And she goes, oh, no. And some of the kids behind her were like, yes, he really is a postman, you know. And at that moment, I thought, maybe I am a postman. I've always wanted to be a postman. I have, actually. The only thing that put me off is the early hours. The only thing that put me off is the early hours. And, quite frankly, that's what put me off. That's what's putting me off about this show. Because our first performances are at 10 a.m. 10 a.m. for a performance. Imagine 10 a.m. in your life. What are you doing? You've had an hour of work, or you haven't started work, or you're not even thinking about work. You're just chilling. Or you're, caring for your baby. You're making sure the house is in order. Either way, you just get to be you, don't you? Now you're talking to someone who's a proper insomniac. I don't sleep. I do. I'm not as bad as I used to be, but anyone who knows me from back in the day knows that I used to stay up for 3 days at a time. Just and some of that still is with me. So the idea of being up and performing for children at 10 a.m. because these first ones are just school shows. Now later on, these are all sold out, but the family shows all sold out. Humble brag. Will be for the public as well. So we're doing both. We're doing school shows and public shows, and we've only done school shows so far, and they have been insane. There's bits where like there's a spider or there's a wolf or whatever it is where, and I'm encouraging it, but the screaming, another level. Anyway, I am sorry that I have been a little bit absent on this feed. I have tried and recorded a couple of small things here and there in between, and they just haven't been good enough. So I haven't posted. I'm sorry, my personal life and the World Cup have got in the way. It's coming home. It's coming. It is coming. Football coming home. Don't you talk, you fucking, don't you talk to me. Exactly. So, the lines on a shirt. So there's been that as well. I'm not boycotting it. I am not boycotting it. Now, I have plenty of friends who are boycotting it. So, time to be political, Roberto. Here's where I'm one of those annoying, oh yeah, kind of people. So, see if you still hate me after I present my argument. Now, boycotting the Qatar World Cup by not watching any of the games. Okay. So my question for you is, have you ever boycotted a World Cup before? Now, my friends who are boycotting this World Cup, I know for a fact this is the first World Cup they've boycotted. So then the question really becomes, why didn't you boycott the World Cup 4 years ago, which was in Russia? Now, I can't think of a solid argument against this. It's very clear that Russia are and have been for many years a rogue, terrorist, brutalist state. Now, are we to say that they get a pass? And if they get a pass, why is that? Because, yeah, there were protesters. Hey, Pussy Riot, right? Got arrested, got brutalized in a very public way. But I think we all still watched it, didn't we? Now, you can say, oh yeah, but they hadn't invaded Ukraine yet. But I would say, yeah. But they had already seized Crimea 4 years before. And don't forget about Chechnya. And don't forget about X, Y, Z. They have been a brutalist rogue state for so long. It has been a disgrace to the world, and everybody knows it. And that is why they're under an enormous amount of sanctions, and they won't be released from them for any time soon. Now, anyone who listens to this show knows I love the Russian people. I have lots of friends who are Russian, but clearly the government are terrible. But why didn't you boycott that? And why are you boycotting this? Is it for the same reason, in which case, what's the hypocrisy that has led to the change? Is it some improvement in you or not? I want you to be honest with yourself. I don't know. From my point of view, I love the World Cup. I think it's the best sporting competition in the world. I think it's better than the Olympics. Hear me out. Obviously, the Olympics has way more variety, way more different types of games and contests and sports and skills. But it's also just a lot sillier. Okay? Like, what's the one where they ski for a bit and then shoot something and then, like, jump up a hill? I mean, why is that an Olympic sport? Do you know They used to have painting as an Olympic competition. There are gold medalists, silver, bronze, in painting. Okay? And then, like, every year, I think the host country gets to, like, decide a new one and kick out an old one or something. That's why we got skateboarding. They were like, yeah, that's an Olympic sport, even though it never has been before. Now, I used to be a skater, and if you ever used to be a skater, you still are a skater. And my best achievement, kick flipping the South Bank 7. And by kick flipping, I mean ollieing. And by ollieing, I mean barely making it. But I did it. 7 steps on a board with wheels. I was never good at. But I love. That's present tense, not past. So, look, if I steel man their arguments against Qatar, which I've done in my mind, and I'll do now, I still don't think it changes anything. So, Qatar has a horrific record in migrant workers' rights and LGBTQ rights specifically. So a lot of migrant workers have died building these stadia, and that's been proven. That is not up for debate. And furthermore, the other point is that homosexuality is pretty much illegal in Qatar and punishable by jail. So, can I defend those positions? No, not at all. Does that mean I shouldn't watch a World Cup? I don't see what it has to do with the World Cup. I don't know that any male players are actually publicly out, which I don't think anyone's talking about. Why is that? Perhaps because regardless of whether it's illegal or not, as in the case of Qatar, football is a bit of an oppressive environment to say that you are publicly out. And that is probably one of the problems of the game as opposed to Qatar. Now, I believe female soccer has a few players who are publicly out, but it's still not as many as you would expect from population statistics that we know of how many people you would expect to be a certain way. It's not. And even if it was, it's also its own thing. So this is the problem I have with this whole whataboutism of being like, no, well, Qatar, if you know what I mean. I think, actually, that there are inherent contradictions in any thought pattern that results in a regime. So Qatar are very morally upright and religious and strict, but I did a little duck going earlier, and the level of pornography use in Qatar is way above the average Western country. Now, why is that? I mean, we could speculate on it all day. I have a theory that seems pretty obvious when you think about it, which is that they are sexually repressed. And this was kind of proven in that meme that went, I don't know if you saw it, but Miss Croatia coming back from the stands down the steps, and she's wearing this beautiful top and two-piece, so the bottoms, with the Croatian colours, and it's kind of like a booby top, and she's walking down, and she, the first frame, you just kind of see her, she's walking down, she's smiling, she looks amazing, and she's walking through an area where there are lots of people wearing the traditional Qatari dress, so they don't see her, and then they do, and when they do see her, it's all smiles and taking photos and videoing and staring at her ass and boobies. And I mean, how do you comment on that apart from the obvious stuff? And this is not to do with any kind of hatred, because I don't have that. It's more to do with, can we all stop pretending that anyone is better than anyone else, and that women are worse or better than men, and that Westerners are better than Easterners, and that West and East even exist as ideas, because those are just made up. There is no West and East. Everywhere is West, everywhere is East. Just those are compass points dependent on where you stand. And I think part of the boycotting of the World Cup, actually, a part of it is a bit of a double standard. And today I feel Arabic. Today I feel gay. Today I feel German. I mean, I love Japan, but that ball was out. Oop. Yeah, so I mean, it's disgustingly corrupt. I watched the documentary, if you can, on Netflix about FIFA. It's shocking how corrupt they are. But that doesn't stop me enjoying their product. Just like, I don't know, Disney or all the other whataboutisms that I could say. Anyway, I actually had a dream the other day it was about a show. And this is obviously to do with my life, right? It's not that hidden or suspect or subsumed. It's something about sub. It's under. Anyway, so in this dream, we're doing this theatre thing, and then it turns into a TV thing. I remember that very clearly. So now we're on TV. There's a cameraman, and there's the host and the hostess. So we have a man and a woman, and the woman is wearing suddenly the Miss Croatia top, because of course that gets stuck in my head, and it's, you know, it's a family friendly show, and she gets annoyed by something the guy says, and she goes, "Oh yeah, well I'll show you," and she just takes off her top, and they go cut. Kid show. She's just there, and I wake up, and it's like 2 minutes before my alarm, and before I have to go and do this kid show, in which there is ad-libbing, and I must not swear. I'm the hero of the show, and I'm the hero of this podcast. Speaking of which, I have to go. I am up early again. Always. Thank you for sticking with this show. I adore you, my people. Keep blessing in the abyss. I pray you. And the content will get back to normal soon. I have bought this really nice microphone, and by really nice I mean it's okay. What it can do though is it can plug straight into the computer. So when I'm not at my home office, I can record quality audio on the go. So when I go to New York soon, I'm going to be able to record a number of interviews with some fan favorites. So stay tuned to the Bliss of the Abyss. We're going to keep it rolling and keep it dynamic and interesting and cool and funny. And yeah, spread the love. I love you. Whoa. Whoa.
Thanks for listening to the show. If you've enjoyed it, please give us 5 stars and consider becoming a subscriber and maybe even supporting us on Patreon. Really helps me continue making this show. If you haven't enjoyed it, then you can fuck off. Many thanks to Nils Hennis Steer for the amazing music and to Dave Fox for the cool artwork. Please keep coming back every week for more Bliss of the Abyss.
Message 1.